Hey, how you doing, Ray? Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yeah, right. So you can hear now? Good. Oh, good. So yeah, I'm just about to start a webcast in a few minutes. So I'll just touch base with you. Uh, Everything going okay? Oh, yeah, I haven't really been following for the last couple hours, but I noticed it's not really windy out still, uh, like something, yeah, so, yeah, that's pretty slow. But, uh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, the weather now is fucking lousy. It's not sunny, it's not cloudy, it's fucking bleh, bleh, bleh. Hey, I gotta go, Ray. Okay.
Dr. Bennett, can you hear me?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Good.
Good. I'm one of the hosts. I'm going to be asking a few other questions today, so just thought I'd say hello.
Okay. You've done this before, right?
I have done public speaking before, yes, in this particular format, not exactly no, but I've done worse, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Are you nervous?
No, I think I'm doing okay. I've spoken on
Yeah.
stages before, so I should be fine.
Lama Basin. I'll be with you in a second. I gotta let people in.
Okay.
There's news on
I'm sorry.
Is there Zayad? Let's see.
That's me.
Oh, that's you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we're
Yeah.
just lacking one. The other panelist,
Yeah, there's one more host that's supposed to.
Lama Basil, right?
Yep, that's the one.
Okay, I don't
She
see
should be
her.
shortly.
You tell Dr. Leacher that Basil's not here.
Yeah, I just she saw my message. She should be in soon.
Oh, she's on the way.
Yep, she should be.
So you're a medical student?
I am, yes. I am a medical student in Turkey.
Man, I should be giving you grief.
I mean, it has its
When I
positives
was
and
in
its
medical
negatives.
school, man, they were so mean to me.
I mean, were you like? I'm assuming it was in the U.S.
What year are you?
I am a fifth year, so that works out to be a fourth year in the U.S.
Oh,
But we have
okay.
an year, so that's our
So
sixth
you
year.
have one more year?
Yep. I have this, and then my next year is my internship year, so technically two more.
Are you gonna stay there?
No,
Where you
that's for
going?
sure. Hopefully over there where you guys are.
Oh, good for you. Have you got any interviews or?
So I'm applying next year, so we still have a lot of time until the
Oh.
interviews are starting. So like
Well,
our
you use
internship year
this
is obligatory.
platform, man. You can meet people this way with this
100%.
platform. You can
100%. That's why
you
I'm excited to be here.
can go to webcasts where you want to go. Where are you going? Which part of America?
I did an observership in Michigan, and I really, really liked it there. So right now
Okay, you know
big in my
Michigan,
eyes.
right? You know, you've
Yeah,
been there before, obviously.
I have.
Yeah, get to know the people. Where you want to go? What school? What academic?
Well, I went to U of M for the observership that I was doing, and I really liked the environment there. So I'm trying to hone in all my energy onto, matching into the place there. And I
Okay,
made
well,
a beautiful.
go to their webcast.
Yeah,
Go to their webcast. Be known. You want to be an asset to wherever you
100%,
go, and
for sure.
being someone that's adept with social media is an asset to
Yeah,
anybody's team.
100%.
So try to
I'll definitely keep
develop,
an eye.
yeah, try to develop some type of internet skill that will
Mhm.
make you valuable.
I was an influencer at some point.
Oh, you're an influencer. Okay, you know what you're doing. Okay, you know what
Yeah,
you're doing. Use
in a
that
past life.
tool. It's a good, it's a good tool. Otherwise, you wouldn't have learned it
Yeah,
well.
big time, big time.
What are you good at?
I'm sorry, what was I
You're good
like
on
good on?
Facebook, Instagram.
Oh, I was big on TikTok. That was my biggest one, and then on Instagram as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a
You
very
want to help us here at Neurosurgical TV?
sure, but I don't think my platform is going to be of any help. It's a very niche
Oh
platform.
man, that would be great to have because I don't do TikTok at all,
Yeah,
and I'm sure it wouldn't be hard for you to teach me. But any help you could do, I'm gonna write your name down right now.
okay.
And you wanna moderate some webcasts because I'm gonna have a bunch of webcasts soon.
I would be very much down for that. I mean, so long
Okay,
as my
okay.
schedule allows, and
See,
then
you're already
it all.
talking like a guy from Michigan. You're down for it.
I'm glad. Thanks. Thank you for that.
They wouldn't understand that in Yemen, right?
I'm sorry.
They wouldn't understand that in Yemen. I'm down for that.
I mean, not exactly, not all the time.
No, I don't think they would.
Nope. So Lama's having some technical difficulties joining the link. So I'm not exactly sure how it's going to go on. However, we'll see. I think I've actually joined a few of your webinars before. I think there was one with Mustafa Bashka that I joined. That one was pretty nice, if I'm remembering correctly. Let's hope she gets in soon.
Okay, I'm gonna give you my email address.
Okay,
So
let me write it down. Okay,
give me
I'm
your
ready.
email address too in the chat.
Oh, would you like me to give you mine? Sure thing.
Or WhatsApp is actually better. What your
Sure
WhatsApp
thing. I
number?
can get your number. I can give you mine, whichever you'd prefer.
Yeah, give me your WhatsApp, your phone
Sure.
number.
I'll type in the chat. There it is. It's a Turkish number.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh, actually, I have your number. One second. I'll send you a message right now because
Oh, okay. You have my number.
Dr. Abdurrahman had sent it to us. I just sent a hello text.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
Okay, good. I got it. Thanks.
You're very welcome.
That's a WhatsApp is the best. It's so good, man.
I very much agree. Much quicker
Yeah.
than email. There's a message in the chat.
Okay, okay, Dr. Praditska, I'm gonna get you in, okay? Let me oh, there's Dr. Lama.
Good.
The Liga.
Hello.
Hey, greetings.
How are you, Dr. John?
Good, how are you doing, Lama?
I am Dr. Lama Dresat from Jordan.
So you're from
I'm a first
Jordan,
year
huh?
medical student. Yeah.
Dr.
How are you?
Surveya
Yeah.
is the speaker.
Nice to meet you, doctor.
Nice to meet you. Are you a student and a resident?
And no, I'm already in Jordan, but the next year I will go to the America
Oh, what
because
part?
about my elective. Yeah. Um, nice to be from our host today.
Oh, you're out of the hospital now?
Host.
Hello, Dr. Seol.
Hello, John. How are you?
Yeah, I'm John Bennett from Miami, and Zayad Kamar is a moderator. You met him before?
Yes. Hello, everybody.
And
Thanks for
Lama,
the
Hello, doctor.
invitation.
yeah,
Dr.
Lama,
Steve.
you're a moderator too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, is everybody here that should be here?
I think team-wise, we're good.
And who's the moderator? Which person do I hand it over to?
So Lama's gonna start, and I'll take it over towards
Yeah.
the end, the question
Okay.
section.
And,
Yeah.
Yep.
So, good evening, everyone.
No, not yet, not yet. We start about 5 minutes. Now, Lama, you're a medical student or resident?
Yeah. I'm a medical student now.
Okay, what year? Last year, fifth year?
No. It's the fifth year. The next year I will be done.
Okay.
Yeah. From Hashemite University in Jordan.
Oh, okay. They have a good lab there, right?
Yeah.
I think it's one of the few in the Middle East. right? You get a
Uh,
lot of people from other places.
yeah,
Teresa, is that how you pronounce it? Teresa.
Draysat. Yeah, Draysat
Yeah.
from Jordan.
Oh, okay. We have,
Arabic.
oh, okay. Well, Pratishka Paliga. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine, sir. I'm from India.
You're from India? Okay, which part? India is a big country.
Yeah, I'm from Mumbai.
Well, you know, Mumbai people, one thing I discovered is people from Mumbai speak with a very heavy accent, generally. So I can understand maybe someone from Delhi, Kerala, but then Mumbai, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Is it the same in India? They consider the Mumbai people have a unusual heavy accent, or no?
Yeah,
No?
even Mumbai is considered the most superior in India. Mumbai
So,
and
yeah, well, here in this country, you've heard people speak from the South. They talk like this. Have you heard Southerners speak?
yeah, I've heard. Actually, sir, I'm a South Indian. I'm residing in Mumbai, but I'm a South Indian.
You know what I mean, Yajit, right? The Southern
Yeah,
accent.
yeah, the
Well,
Southern accent.
he's out in California. There's not really an accent out there, right? You could understand their English pretty good.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the most plain American gets, like in LA, where all the like popular people are.
Oh, Michigan's neutral. I think it has a neutral accent. They speak
Yeah, that's
clear.
true.
They speak clearly
They do.
English.
They do.
You know how the Southerners speak real slow.
Yep.
Very
It's like the
slow.
Welsh of America.
Yeah. Okay, no one else here. Okay. Dr. Aliter is not coming?
No, he's otherwise occupied tonight, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, 1 minute.
Okay.
Everybody's here.
yeah.
I think so.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Lama, just go where you want to go. After you finish, do what you got to do. It's you're controlling it. Okay, Lama?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's begin.
No. Once I introduce you, then you take it. From there, you hand it off to whoever introduces the speaker, whatever. So that's up to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Good afternoon. This is Dr. John Bennett broadcasting from beautiful Miami Beach. It's really like this. It's only a couple blocks away. We have the honor of hosting the Global Neurosurgery Student Council by Dr. Abdul Rahman, a leader. He's tied up, and Lama is going to be introducing whatever. Okay, Lama, it's your show. Go ahead.
Yeah. So good evening, everyone. It's a great honor to welcome Dr. Seol with us today. We are very happy and grateful to learn from your expertise. So, neurovascular research is such a promising but also challenging field, and your experience will help us to see it more clearly. We truly hope this discussion will be a start of a meaningful academic connection, and maybe one day we will have the chance to work together in research, Dr. Seol.
Thank you, Lama. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction, and thanks
Yeah.
for having me. It's an honor to be all of you guys. We are on the same path, and I was there in 7 years ago when you were sitting on your chairs studying USMLE exams or board exams, dreaming to be a neurosurgeon. And yeah, today I'm gonna talk about what am I doing in my postdoctoral scholarship at UCSF, and how my career is going through in this time. And if you are ready, I can start sharing my screen, and we can start our presentation.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, can you confirm that you can see my screen here?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's clear.
great. So yeah, again, my name is Yiğit Can Şenol. I'm a neurosurgeon from Turkey. I completed my medical school and neurosurgical residency in Ankara, Turkey. Then, in my chief year, at the sixth year of my neurosurgical residency, I extended my neurosurgical residency and did a research trainee at Mayo Clinic, Minnesota, with Dr. Kalmis, Dr. Kadirvel, and Dr. Birzinski. Then I saw the opportunity, and I saw the opportunity that I can be a part of a bigger thing in neurovascular research, and I started working with them. Then I returned to my home country and looked for the opportunities in the United States to continue my research. And I found an opportunity with Dr. Luis Savastano at Department of Neurosurgery, UCSF, in beautiful San Francisco. And for last 2 years, I've been doing benchtop models for aneurysm, for stroke models, and mainly working with the perfused cadaveric models, which I will show some images that we took in our lab and published, and working with the in silico models, which maybe you guys are familiar with, 3D printers and other things. And I will also mention some of the systematic reviews and the clinical research I did so far. And so for today, I have no disclosures. And before I start my presentation, I want to create or draw a line between the performing the clinics and the research. So from my side, I became a neurosurgeon to save lives, to treat the patients and to make them feel better. And that was the most motivating thing for me to become a neurosurgeon. But then I realized, in my residency years, I was repeating the same procedures again and again to make it perfect lumbar discectomy, perfect openings for this orbitozygomatics approaches, clipping the aneurysms, assisting my professors. But every day was same. But while I was doing the residency, I realized there are some clinical challenges that we face in our home country. And it was kind of more like it was a chit chat between the colleagues, and we don't have any resources to continue to do research. So unfortunately, in Turkey, we don't have that much funding, so we couldn't perform any good quality research. So I started searching research opportunities in United States and Europe. And I think you all familiar with it. So I started emailing the professors in United States, but I had a special goal, and I was kind of I would like to work with the aneurysms, mostly with the anterior choroidal ones. And I was trying to find the lab to perform aneurysm models in animals. So I have a motivated goal, one specific aim, and my email is including specific goals, and it was much easier to get response from professors when you have a specific aim for it. And it wasn't a broad term I want to do research with you, professor, but you need to be specified what kind of research, what kind of model, and what are your goals from your research career. So that's the first thing that you need to understand. And in United States, you will see most of the professors do the clinic and the research together. But in my case, as a postdoc scholar, I'm purely doing research, and research is kind of a lonely thing. The first question starts with like, where should I start in neurovascular research? Because there are a lot of different fields that you can continue your research. And the first thing is, as we all know, it's a traditional cadaveric dissection. So you can do some approaches, you can try to find new techniques, or you can combine endoscopic approaches with some kind of white matter dissections. This is a very traditional research that you can go, and there are great clinics in the United States, and I think you're all familiar with them. So if you want to do cadaveric dissections, this is kind of an old tradition in neurosurgical field, but there are some new technologies combining with the cadaveric dissection, such as the VR glasses and some AI segmentations. It's kind of like quite fun. So this is the one field. And the other field is you can always perform a basic science. This is kind of a very different field from what we learn in neurosurgical residency. But for the medical school years, you're all familiar with the hematoxylinogen staining, cell cultures, pipettings. So this is another thing to understand what makes the aneurysms rupture, or what makes the AVMs rupture, or what's the difference between a ruptured aneurysm and unruptured aneurysm. So it's really fun to find out, like, to understand the differences between like these two entities. And the other thing is always the clinical research. You can collect some clinical data and you can just say that, okay, I have two groups, and one group used this treatment, the other group used that treatment. I compare these two treatment groups and I found no statistical difference, or I found some difference. That treatment is better than the other treatment. It's very fast forward, it's very straightforward, and you can do easily while you are working in your home country. And there are some clinical groups that you can join and start collecting some data in systematic reviews or meta-analysis, or you can join as a clinical research coordinator in United States and continue your clinical research. But I was more interested in endovascular area, which is, I believe, the fastest growing field in neurovascular field so far. So it's kind of like, I will go deep in next slides, but you can see that, like, if you want to build a catheter or a wire or a stent retriever, the medical school skills is not enough. So you need that dedicated team with engineers, with professors, with some sort of like biomedical stuff. So it's kind of a group work. And as a medical student, you can always help the team with your medical skills, such as doing animal models, in silico models, or giving some clinical advice, what you solve in your medical school or your residency. And I always look for the history of neurosurgical fields, and I have a very nice word about the research from Dr. Wilder Penfield. And he said that about research, this was a lonely project, but perhaps there is in all research a time when a man is all alone and must struggle against his own doubts. But as I have said, we have burned our bridges. I could only explore now. Most explorers are thought to be met by someone, and all explorers are lonely. So what he tells us is research is sometimes you need to feel lonely and you need to be like feel different than the others. Because as I mentioned in the first of my presentation, when you become a neurosurgeon, your main goal is treating the patients. But when you face a clinical challenge, and if you have a chance or opportunity to change the neurosurgical field, then you need to feel a little bit lonely, a little bit depressed. And I've been doing research for 2 years. There are upsides and downsides of doing research, but it's totally normal. And we mostly fail in research. So one good chance, you need to take it and you need to continue. You need to be persistent and you need to be dedicated to complete your research. And that's the first thing. So it's totally normal. And when you do research and you see the other colleagues, other friends, like doing surgeries, doing cases, and you are like struggling with getting data or publishing, it's totally normal, and you just need to remember that word from Dr. Penfield. So let's start with the first challenge of in neurovascular field. What I've faced so far is I did a timeout for treating patients. So, and I need to time out for like these beautiful images coming from my patients. I really like pediatric patients. They are joyful, and it's really, really very satisfactory to treat them and to see them happier after they got a nice case. But the first thing is I did a break. I mean, to do research in United States, I did a break from treating patients, and I continue my career in research purely. And the clinical experiences that you had in your life is always come with you, and it's like riding a bicycle that you will never forget it. But the thing is, sometimes or most of the times, I miss these times, and this is very special moments for me. I hope I will get back to clinical side again. But so for these 2 years, when I was doing research, you need to give a timeout for from treating patients. And the second challenge is you need to find your own research. So as I mentioned before, there are like different type of research that you can do in neurovascular field. And the most common one is, I guess, the basic science one. And you can find a lot of different labs doing cell cultures, trying to find genes, organoids, or some oncolytic therapies. And they are mainly looking for people that they can do bench work. So if you are familiar with the bench work while you are doing your medical school years, that's fine, and that's a good advantage that you can join like some of the labs in United States. But also you need to remember that you will be working with the bench all the time, and it will kind of like it's not very similar what we do in the neurosurgical field. In clinical research, it's mainly happening in front of the computer. You are collecting the data. Sometimes you need to speak with the patient. You need to do some interviews with them. This is slightly better, like comparing, like doing clinical, comparing to basic science research, but still your hands are not dirty with the blood. So sometimes like the cadaveric dissections or like some other like approaches you need to try with the cadavers. It's kind of like conjoined between the basic science and the clinical research. But what I want to mention or what I did so far is the translational research. So there's a clinical challenge you need to face and you see in the clinical field. To overcome that translational research, you have an idea, and immediately you start like collecting data for it, and then you start like looking for fundings and trying to solve the issue by minor or major changes of what is currently on the market. So in that figure, what you see is a catheter, and that was I don't know the name of the catheter, but the thing is the catheters is always like circular. So some of the engineers or doctors, they think that if we make a bevel shape of that tip, that will make a difference, and we can increase the ID, inner diameter size of the catheter, and we can increase the vacuum aspiration power by doing that. So the previous catheters were always circular, and they just did a minor change with a bevel tip, and they started selling the product, and they did some tests, and they saw the opportunity. So this is what we do in the translational research, with minor changes with huge impacts. So the third challenge is understanding the resources. So what I observed so far is like people are coming from different countries: India, Jordan, Turkey, Egypt, like some different countries, and we all need to understand our resources. And to give some example from my country, we don't have any resources for research. And even if we have it, it's very limited. That doesn't cover like doing like some advanced research like we did in United States. So What we gonna do? Are we gonna like sit and cry? No. You need to understand your resources, and you need to find out to use your resources in a best way. For example, what I did in my home country is we were treating a lot of patients. So I started doing clinical research. I started collecting data. I rejected several times from different journals, but I did not give up. So I continue collecting data, and at the end, I published my first paper before I moved out from Turkey. And this is very critical, because when you apply a research position in United States, people will ask you like, what did you do so far? And the words are not enough always. So you need to show them some proof. And the best proof that you can show is the paper. And of course, we don't expect, or like they don't expect to see the medical students publishing a randomized controlled trial in a New England Journal of Medicine, or like some high quality journals. What they want to see that you did some effort and you used some resources, your own country, and you used them well and published a paper. So I want to give some examples for you from like what I used so far is the European Association of Neurosurgical Societies has some research funding, and every year they gave around like 10,000 euros or so to fund the research. And always NIH has a great website that you can check for the grants or contracts. And for the people who apply from like different countries, you can always reach out to your boss and saying that, okay, so this is my goal. I want to have a K31 grant. I'm a PhD student and I want to continue my PhD in the United States. And I would like to apply for this grant. I want to fund myself. And you need to familiarize yourself with the funding opportunities in the United States, and the NIH has a great website to do it. Also, there are some foundations like NICRO, Aneurysm and AVM Foundation. They support young researchers, and they have, I think, good amounts of money to fund your research. Also, there is Aneurysm Foundation and Aneurysm and AVM Foundation that you can use it. And the fourth challenge, I think this is the most critical one, is finding your mentor. I mean, I had great mentors while I was working in Turkey, and I learned a lot from them. More importantly, I learned clinical skills that brings me to United States. Then I worked with a great team at Mayo Clinic neurovascular team, Dr. Kalmes, Dr. Brzezinski, Dr. Kadirval, and I end up with working with Dr. Luis Savastano at UCSF. I mean, the mentorship is very important, and Dr. Yashargil has a great word for it. And in his book, he says that skill is transmitted not only through textbooks and microscopes, but through mentorship. So every mentor I worked with, I learned another skill from them, and I was lucky enough to work with them enough time to learn these skills from them. I mean, sometimes 1 week or 1 month is not enough to learn some new skills. You need to be persistent, and you need to use your mentor to continue to build your relationship before your match, or like whatever your goal is in your career. So mentorship is critical. I hope you all have great mentors in your future careers. But the goal is finding your mentor is look for what you need most. I mean, if you want to work with the animal models, Dr. Savastano is great. If you want to do clinical research in neurovascular field, Dr. Kalmes' team is amazing. So try to find and try to ask yourself, like, what do you need most? And then contact with or try to find your mentor. And the final part is publishing your article. And this is the rewarding part of your research. And then you will be acknowledged by the neurovascular community that, okay, this guy, this lady is doing great job, and this is the proof of what they did so far. So in this thing is we published in JNAS, Journal of Neurointerventional Surgery, about a radial access model testing radial catheters in a perfused cadaveric model. Kind of a long title, but the main goal is we put some sheets, we insert some sheets through the abdominal aorta, then flush with the blood mimicking fluid to catch the same viscosity of blood, and then with angioscopic or endoscopic cameras to see the catheter's movements or behavior under fluoro. And this is on the right side, you see our angiosuite setup, what we did so far. And in under fluoroscopy, we have an endoscopic visualization. We inserted our radial access sheet on the right side of the hands. And then it's hard to see, but there is a long sheet that goes to the abdominal aorta. And then we flush the abdominal aorta with the blood mimicking fluid. And this is what we did so far. This is a fluoroscopy image. And you will see that the wire will move through the vessel. And then you will see like a funny loop over there. I think in silico models or benchtop models, there is no good model that can mimic this kind of elastic vasculature that we will see in the human bodies. So please be careful with this loop part, that how the catheter will turn and straight that loop over there. Yeah, it's going there. It's really hard at first. Then it's straight that loop, and you can easily advance your catheter over there. So then with our cameras, we see like simultaneously, we see like under fluoro and under arcus aorta images, like how the catheters behave over there. This is a normal or physiologic ones. It's not a physiologic, but this is the regular behavior, what we expect when we do a neurovascular surgery. As a neurosurgeon, when I first start seeing like fluoroscopic or endovascular procedures, I always looking for black and gray screen in front of me. And this wasn't the training that I had in last 5 years. So it was really hard to familiarize myself to understand what's going on these 2D images. So Dr. Savastano gave us an idea. We combined the endoscopic imagings with the fluoroscopy. And I think it's very good for neurosurgeons to understand what's happening in these 2 grayscale images.
So again, Doctor, what's the name of the
sure.
journal? Yeah, sure.
The journal name, Lama?
Yeah, sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, that's fine. Please.
Yeah. What is the name of this procedure and its indication for what, if you please?
This is a benchtop model,
Okay.
Lama. This is not like a clinical procedures that you do, but what we do is mimicking the radial access procedure for endovascular embolization. As you know, embolization in a neuroendovascular field.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
on the right side, you will see a fluoro image, and on the left side, you will see the simultaneous movement of the catheter. This is from the same publication that we publish in JNAS. And I want you to understand, like, look, 2 different things when you look for the screen. On your right side, you will only see the catheter movement, but something will happen, and when you advance your catheter, it's not going to move. But you don't see what's happening under fluoro. So please watch carefully. So the catheter doesn't go, but the wire goes. You need to understand, like, what's happening under your fingers. So let's watch again. So please take a look of this edge over there. Some sort of like atherosclerotic plaque over there, creating an edge that prevents catheter movement to the distal. But you don't see anything under fluoro. So as a neurosurgeon, we need to understand, like, what's happening under our fingers when we do the procedure. As a neurointerventionist, you need to understand what's happening under your fingers. And this is like a new thing that you need to show the neurovascular community. Okay, we show that like there is some atherosclerotic plaques that prevents our catheter movement, and that might be the reason for the herniation of the catheter. I'm sorry if I'm using like too many terms in the endovascular field, but this is a small part of neurovascular research, and this is what I did at UCSF. So for conclusion, what I want you to suggest you is like when you want to do research in neurovascular field, first you need to decide, do you really want to pursue research or not? Or do you want to continue performing clinic or treating patients? So first you need to decide whether you want research or not. The second thing is you need to find a research field, you need to choose it, and then you need to start connecting with the clinics where you can conduct your research. For example, like if you want to do some basic science, then you cannot go somewhere that doing like translational research. So you need to find a perfect match with your skills and what you need most. And the third thing is always you need to find a good mentor and you need to develop your idea for research. And of course, without funding or grants, you cannot continue or maintain your research. And you need to find some funding for your research and get some preliminary data to get more funding or to publish your paper. And the final part is always you need to publish your research to get acknowledged by the community of neurovascular field, to get known by the field, to get some invitations from global neurosurgical medical students to share your experiences. And that's the most rewarding part. And again, thank you for the invitation. I'm really honored and humbled for this invitation, and good luck with your career. So if I can help you, I'm leaving my email address on the right corner. You can always email me, and I'm happy to answer your questions if you want to pursue a research career in the United States. Thank you.
So Dr. White Seol, thank you for your lecture. So I have two questions, if you please.
Sure.
Yeah. As many promising neurovascular studies face limitation in reproducibility and scalability. So what strategies do you believe researchers should adopt to overcome this barrier and ensure more reliable outcome? If you please.
Yeah, I think it's a great question. This is what we see all the time when we were performing surgeries in the OR or anywhere in the service. But the thing is, first you need to understand what is the cause. I think it's called root cause analysis. So first you need to understand the cause, then you need to find a solution for the cause. For example, let's make a simple example for that. You are trying to do a spinal tap, but your needle doesn't go through the spine, and you are hitting like something very solid. Then, like you saw 5 minutes ago, a senior of your program did perfectly, but you don't do it. So then you need to sit and think, okay, so it doesn't go. I think I'm hitting the bone. So maybe you need to give some angles to solve the issue, right? Sometimes it's very simple, like minor changes, you can easily overcome that clinical challenge, but sometimes it's really hard. The most common brain tumors are glioblastomas. And when you diagnose a patient with GBM, they approximately have 14 or 16 months for survival. So it's really a disaster. It's really hard to accept that fact. So at UCSF, for example, there are maybe 20, 25 labs working purely on glioblastoma. And there are some like 10 or 15 different clinical trials going on to treat or to better treat the glioblastoma. So sometimes the things are way complex. Sometimes things are much easier to do minor changes. So I think the first thing or the critical thing is finding the cause at first. Then you need to do some root cause analysis and try to overcome that clinical challenge after that.
Yeah, thanks, doctor.
Okay.
So the second question is about given the rapid advancement in imaging and the molecular techniques. So what do you see as the most pressing methodological challenging in translating the neurovascular research into clinically applicable solutions?
Yeah. Fortunately, I don't have that much experience to tell you like this technique or that technique, but what I observe is at UCSF while I was doing, there are great labs doing basic research to find out the aneurysm rupture rates or AVM rupture rates or what makes the difference between them. You can check the endovascular biopsy papers, what they published, Dr. Winkler's lab, who is in at UCSF also. Sometimes I had a chance to talk with their lab team, and what I observe is like you need to be very patient to continue your research
Yeah,
in basic
sure.
science. And unfortunately, I don't have that patience. I am kind of like, I need to have this thing. I need to work like sleepless nights. I need to continue until it gets done. But what I observe is like they grow cells day by day. And maybe a month later, some problem occurs and everything is going to be dead. So it's really a different field, what you need to do. But I don't think that I'm the right person to answer that basic research question. But what I can say is this is a great field. If you have a very organized method and if you want to um, have more time to do on research, the rewarding will be much better because you will have a paper in Nature or Cell or like some very high quality journals, and you will be part of that project, and this will come with you forever with your career. So you need to weigh the balance between like what you need most and what you expect most. I think that's the thing.
It's about balance. Yeah. So thanks, doctor.
There's a question in the chat if someone wants to ask it. Syed, were you going to ask that question in the chat? It's in the Q&A.
Before we move on to the questions from the chat, there was one thing I was hoping to ask. Now, because translational medicine, as far as I understand it at least, is a relatively newer thing. I don't think it's new, but I think it's newer, at least in terms of us as medical students hearing about the field. As someone who's a lot more involved in it, if you look at the whole big picture of translational medicine, do you see any like methodological or otherwise issues that you think can be fixed by people in our position as opposed to someone who's deep in it? Or do you think that we have to be on a certain level way beyond where we are right now to be able to contribute?
Yeah, I think that's a wonderful question, Kamar. So I think this methodological issues comes since the beginning of this translational research. So, for example, when you develop a catheter, are you going to use in an animal? Are you going to use in a perfused cadaveric model? Are you going to use in an organoid or 3D printed models? Like what you're going to use? So FDA makes the final decision, but that is another field. It's called good clinical practice, GLP studies. And then you need to find out what is the best model that you can test. But the second part of your question is like, as a medical students, can you contribute that field? Absolutely, absolutely, because you guys are young, ambitious, like never tired, never sleep. You all guys are hardworking. I know, like my medical school years, I was kind of like I was better in condition. So definitely, you guys have a chance to continue or contribute to translational research. But how? So I'll give you an example from my side. I went to Mayo Clinic. I did a 6 months non-paid research with the Mayo Clinic team, And I observe how they conduct these animal experiments, how they create the rabbit aneurysm models. This is just doing some like basic surgical skills, basic suturing skills. And the other thing is the repeating the same exposure, same procedure, and become a perfect on that. That's so. For example, as a medical student, like when you guys are graduate in like after your final year, and come to United States, do like 3 or 4 months of non-paid research if you are lucky, you can do a paid one. But you need to learn how to conduct this type of benchtop models because NIH is shifting their practices from animal experiments to alternative methods. And alternative methods is not certain yet. So follow up closely and like look for the what is the NIH going to offer for the researchers, but the animal experiments is going to expire, and we are not happy to kill the animals for nothing.
Yeah.
There are some sort of things that you cannot exchange, like biodynamics or like some sort of inflammatory reactions. You cannot mimic these things on the benchtop models, but rest of the things, animal models are like replaceable. I mean, you can make the same geometry with 3D printer, or you can make a closed loop with the in silico models. So please follow up the NIH websites for alternative methods and try to improve your skills on these benchtop models. That will make you a unique person. And then you will have a lot of more opportunity to working closely with neurovascular surgeons in the United States, because all of them has great ideas. What they need is they want someone to work closely, and they want someone to prepare some benchtop models to make their ideas into real. So I think the medical students perfectly fits for that postdoctoral scholar positions.
Okay, good to know. All right, so let's move on to some questions from the chat because we got a good amount. First of all, we had someone ask, can we collaborate with you in neurovascular research? I'm very much interested.
Sure.
I think you had mentioned your email.
Yes, so please reach out to me through the email, and let's see like how you guys can help me or how we can collaborate together. I mean, there are a lot of opportunities. If I couldn't help you, I could definitely forward you what you need more. I mean, clinical research or basic science.
Okay, so there was another question where someone asked, how can you contribute as a medical student to a research group that is already actively engaged in research?
I mean, if the question is like they are already engaged in the research and they would like to continue or do want to collaborations with me or another field, I think the best way is to express themselves through the email and what they need most. I mean, people mostly ask us like, Dr. Senol, I want to do collaboration with you. Okay, let's do it. But what? What are we gonna do? I mean, there should be an idea that the medical students come with us. Otherwise, it's going to be like a bullet in the air. So they need to be very specific before reach out to the PIs or me or any other postdoctoral scholar in the United States.
Well, you know, Doc, I think I was talking to Zayed before the webcast. To use Zoom, use social media, get to know the people by face, so that they can say, hey, remember, I came to your webcast and I asked you about this specific thing, so you can remember them. I don't think enough students take advantage of it. I think a professor like you would appreciate a facial meeting rather than just an email. On email, you get lots of them, but you don't get many face-to-face contact.
I agree. You have my number, and we can always have a meeting together by face, by Zoom, or if you are like heading to San Francisco, I can always grab you a coffee. So I would be happy to help any of you guys, but just don't hesitate to reach out to me, and then we will find out like what we can do to improve your career.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Um,
Saeed?
Yep. So there were a few more questions. A lot of them revolve around the same sort of idea, which is basically people asking. I think they're asking about the technicality of how do they do a research fellowship. So someone asked, what are the requirements to do a research fellowship? Someone asked, how do medical students or graduates get a research fellowship abroad, and so on.
Yeah, I think, yeah, the simple question is like your MD degree is enough. You don't need to have any step exams in United States to start a research fellowship. Some PIs, as I heard, they sometimes ask about your step scores or other things. But so far, I never faced anyone from UCSF or Mayo Clinic. So what, like, the requirement is simple. You need to show your dedication. Like, you need to show like what you want to achieve in your future career. And then if it's like a mutual benefit for the lab and for you, then it's really easy, the rest of the process. I mean, currently we are having some visa issues in the United States, but I think it's temporarily. But
Yeah.
rest of the things, you just need your MD degree. And I think I don't suggest you to do like or come United States for a long term before you graduate from med school. There will be like short-term research trainees can be arranged, like a month or 2 months while you are in summer. But I think you should aim to do research after, like immediately after you graduate, and you should start emailing to professors a year before your graduation date.
Okay. Now I have one more question. Again, it sort of revolves around the same, which someone was basically asking, does a medical student need to propose a research question, or can a medical student help in different dimensions? Do we need to give the novelty of the project, or can we participate otherwise?
I think, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, like we don't have all the novel ideas, and if we have a novel idea, it's really hard to convince people to do that. But the thing is, like, for example, if you are reaching out to me, hey, Dr. Senol, I want to do an animal, I want to learn how to conduct an aneurysm model in rats. So this is my expertise area. But if you ask me to do like, hey, Dr. Senol, I want to do a single cell RNA sequencing in endovascular biopsy specimens, that's not my field. So before they send the email, they need to do some research about the PI or the postdoctoral scholar or like whom they're gonna reach out. And they need to be like, they will have a one shot or two shots with the professor. So they need to be very specific and they need to show their interest and how they can contribute to the ongoing research that the PIs are doing. So that's the critical thing. For example, at Mayo Clinic, they were doing a lot of systematic reviews. So if you have like some statistical skills, if you have some R software experience, you can easily reach out to Dr. Kalmes and saying, Dr. Kalmes, I have these skills in R software, and I would like to contribute to the systematic reviews and meta-analysis. And I believe that I will be a valuable player in your team. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. And I'm sure like they will get an answer from that PI.
Okay. Now this I think is the final one, and then I'm gonna ask another question. But someone was asking to get your email, so if you could maybe write it into the chat so that everyone can.
Yeah, sure.
Do it.
Yep.
All right. So I had a final question as someone who is hopefully going into neurosurgery residency at some point. You talked about the sort of the battle of letting go of clinical practice and then focusing your energy like more and more on research. As someone who thinks that like clinical practice is mostly what they want to do, but also is if someone were to want to go to the US and work there, do they need to abandon clinical practice so as to do some sort of meaningful research, or is there a balance to it?
I mean, that we are all international medical graduates. So when I was in Turkey, I would definitely continue my clinical practice as well as with my research. And in US, most of the surgeons continue their clinical practice and their research together. but we are international medical graduates, IMGs. So to find that neurosurgical residency spot or fellowship spot, you definitely need to work on your research career, and you need to improve your CV, because none of us had the opportunity that they had it in the United States. So there is a pause when you graduate from your home country and came to United States. Maybe it's 3 months, maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's a year or 2 years, but there will be a pause, and you need to reduce that pause as much as possible. I was lucky because I had some experience in Turkey that I completed my neurosurgical residency. But you guys are like fresh graduates, and when you want to do like a 5-year research, it's not going to work for you also, because it's going to be a very huge delay between the clinical side and the research side. I think if you check the numbers from ECFMG, you can see that there is like 1 or 2 years an average time with the IMGs doing research in the United States. That's acceptable, but I think the question needs to be asked to program directors, what they care most. But what I see is 1 or 2 years is enough. More than 2 years is kind of acceptable. More than 4 or 5 years, it's going to be a red flag for you.
All right, good to know. Well, that's all the questions I had. If anyone else has another, I mean, I think they said that the webinar chat is disabled, so they can't see the email for some reason. So
really?
I'm trying to, Dr. Bennett, maybe if you could perhaps send Dr. Senol's email. I seem to also not be able to send anything to attendees. I can only
Dr.
send messages to hosts and panelists.
Okay, she's trying to ask a question. Okay, let me see. Sometimes I can admit them. Okay,
I
let me
can.
see here. Sometimes people have to be admitted to ask a question. Okay, let me try to
I think she
admit.
should have the email now.
I'm trying to admit him, and he'll be able to. Okay, he'll be able to.
I think it's okay. I personally
Go ahead, Devanji.
respond. So again, if anyone has any more questions, please do write it in the Q&A. Someone said, is it possible to come to the US as a research intern during medical school?
Yes, there are some positions that they can do, but I think there's also a problem between their medical school to make the equivalence. I don't know, I'm not sure about that, but I have seen medical students doing research, summer research, when I was at Mayo Clinic, and I know Cleveland Clinic has the similar program, Mayo Clinic has the similar program, so they can do that for 1 or 2 months. Are they going to publish any papers, or is it going to worth it? But the best solution for that is, if there are medical students previously did that before, I think they need to chase it. And if it's suitable for them, and if they got some benefit from that short time, then they can come and do 1 or 2 month research trainee or observership in the United States. Because observership means that you are working in the clinical and you have a chance to observe the research side as well.
Yep. Okay.
Pradiska, you have a question? Go ahead.
Yes, actually, I'm a medical graduate. So I wanted to ask you, can I go for neuro research directly after medical graduation?
Yes, of course. I mean, the
neuro research as a career.
I couldn't hear you, Pratishka, the last word. There was a disconnection.
No, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have finished my medical school. I'm a graduate. So I wanted to go for neuro research directly, without the clinical part. So is it possible, like the postdoctoral research which is there as a career in itself?
Yes, of course. I mean, LinkedIn is a great resource to find the postdoc scholar opportunities. And there is like a difference between the terms. So postdoc scholar, research scholar, clinical instructor, research instructor, health science instructor. So they are like some sort of the same thing, but they gave different names in different facilities. So LinkedIn, Indeed, they are good. Twitter is a great resource if you follow like some of the big PIs in the Twitter. They mostly send some posts that they are looking for postdoc scholars. The thing is, sometimes they look PhDs and sometimes they accept MDs. So there's a slight difference between the MD and PhDs. So you need to find a program that accepts the MDs, but you need to open your eyes and you need to check the LinkedIn or the Twitter every day, every 2 days to find out that position. This is how I found the opportunity. But as I said, I had a specific goal and I had a specific research project that want to conduct in animals. So there aren't many labs doing in United States. There are only 2 or 3 labs currently. So I reached out like these 3 and I got answer back from only 1. So don't disappoint, continue emailing them again. And one day you will have the answer. One day you will have the opportunity. It doesn't mean if they reject you that you are like worthless or something. Just don't give up and continue your applications. You will find the position at the end.
Thank you, sir.
There was one more question where someone said, could you possibly positions, as like you said, visas are an issue right now for IMGs.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, this is a huge issue who works in the United States as well. But the main resources are, I think, in 21st century, LinkedIn and Twitter are the 2 great resources that you can always check the positions. And the other thing is you need to find like some LinkedIn people that they did some research positions or remote research positions. And I think the best way is to reach out them directly, like, hey, Dr. Seol, how did you do that, like remote positions? I'm not familiar with the remote positions, but I'm familiar that Dr. Kalma's team has their remote positions. They have a huge collaboration group that they perform systematic reviews. There's also another group in UT Texas. I can't recall the doctor's name, but they're also publishing a lot. The other thing is, I think this is a great resource. You can go to the journals. I mean, you can find like there are some papers published with like 8 or 10 names with different countries, and most of them are medical students. And there will be one senior author on that paper. So I suggest for the remote positions, they need to reach out that senior author and asking for, do you have any openings or can I join your group? I think this is the fastest way to involve a remote research.
Yeah, and always
then.
ask,
So,
always ask.
Doctor,
Go ahead, you know, I
Yeah.
think Bill Gates says it. He says always, no, Steve Jobs says always ask. Always ask, and you'll be surprised when people answer yes.
Yeah, very good.
So we hope many of Dr. Kalm's team join us in the second time
It was very
Yeah.
to talk about research and how we can take this opportunity.
Yeah.
And thank you so much, Dr. Seol, for sharing your valuable insight with us today. Your perspective on the challenges in your vascular research has truly inspired us. We are very grateful for your time and knowledge, and we look forward to staying connected with you and hopefully collaborating with you in the future.
Yeah, I agree. And thank you for the invitation again.
Thank
It
you,
was a
Dr.
great
Seol.
pleasure to work with you and looking for your emails. And I
Yeah,
hope I
sure.
will help you all. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for answering all the questions.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.